I've gotten pretty exhausted from having to deal with type of dread I've talked about before continuously, like with anything I do, because even now, after I feel like I've kind of gotten over the idea that I'm fundamentally retarded, uh, I'm still doing stuff and I'm still trying to partake in activities and even games and projects. And in every little thing I do, I feel like I fundamentally am just terrible. And I don't know how to perceive things correctly. I don't know how to figure things out. Anything that requires decision making or like cognition in general, that's, like very advanced, or at least from my perspective, is advanced. So just, coding or even making decisions in games or whatever, it's just like I feel like I'm so retarded I can't really do it well. And every little thing I do in my day-to-day life, I just have this sort of overarching dread about it, because I really feels like I'm too retarded to be able to make the right decisions and be able to perceive of these things correctly so I can actually do them well. And even now that I feel like that the emotion of frustration and stuff has kind of gone away to some extent. It's just exhausting, it's almost like all that frustration and anger I used to feel about how I just was fundamentally failing at everything, and everything I just couldn't figure out the right solutions for. I couldn't figure out how to construct a project or make a decision in any kind of technical or creative activity. I feel like that's just sort of transformed into exhaustion. I don't feel that emotional about it anymore, but I'm still, of course, going through the cycle, and I'm still trying these things, and I just get fucking tired, and I guess I accept it after a while, but it makes everything kind of depressing and pointless, because I know it's not going anywhere. And I mean, it's hard to really explain how prevalent this type of dread I'm talking about used to be in my life, and then still kind of is. As I would, I mean, it still is. It's just I'm no less emotional about it. Every little thing I do in my day-to-day life, and it's really hard to explain this, and I'm not good at coming up with examples, but whether I'm like doing schoolwork, trying to figure out math equations, or trying to figure out historical narratives and piece that together, or figure out science, or figure out grammar, or whether I'm playing a game and I'm trying to come up with a strategy or make a decision in the game, whether I'm programming, I'm making a project, or I'm making something creative, I'm making creative decisions in something. Any one of those things, I feel like I'm too retarded to be able to perceive how to do them well and what would be normal to do in those circumstances. And I feel like I'm too fundamentally retarded to be able to make good decisions and be able to make decisions that actually would not seem like stupid and bizarre and just fundamentally not the naturally obvious thing to do if you're doing these things. I just feel like I'm too fucking retarded to fundamentally do anything in my day-to-day life correctly. And so there's just this dread I feel like every second of my fucking life, and every single thing I do, that just is all-encompassing, and I literally can't escape it. There's quite literally nothing I feel comfortable in. There's nothing I feel like I can feel safe in, that I can do, that I can rely on. Everything I do everything I attempt, even the more mundane activities I partake in, I always have this dread that I'm just doing it in such a stupid way, and I'm fundamentally not. And look, this is getting too vague. With the more mundane activities, I guess it doesn't matter, but when I'm trying to do projects, programming projects, or creative projects, or, technical hobbies, it doesn't matter. If I'm trying to do those things, I do feel like I'm unable to actually create a coherent and logically good project that makes sense, and that's expandable, and that's efficient, and everything. I feel like fundamentally I'm very terrible at it, and sometimes I just can't get through it. And I guess like I said, I'm not very good at expressing my thoughts, and I can't even really explain it because it feels like a mental prison. But there's just some things I can't explain. Some things, and but the point being is, like, every second of my life, like every single thing I do is imperfect and terrible, and I really fail at everything I do, and I'm never going to be able to be broadly successful at these activities that I partake in. And so it really does feel like every part of my life is just painful, and it's just this dread I associate with it. If I'm talking to somebody, if I'm trying to do a skill, anything really, I just have this dread I associate with it, where it's like I'm like fundamentally, my brain works in such a fundamentally retarded way to where I can't perceive how to do these things normally, and how to organize them normally, and how to be efficient and versatile, and the way I construct these things that would actually make me good at them. So I fail at everything I do, and even the more mundane, smaller things, I feel like I always make retarded decisions, and always fundamentally I'm just stupid about how I do things, and so I'm never good at them. And makes it feel like, like I said, I'm not safe anywhere. I don't have anything I can rely on. It's just everything is dreadful. Everything stresses me out, because it is exercising cognitive functions that I don't really have, and that are completely fucked for me. And so there's always this just a fundamental impossibility to really be able to partake in human society and do human skills on a day-to-day basis, when fundamentally I don't have a normal human brain. It really is unavoidable then, because what this mental retardation I have comes down to is, it comes down to really, really fundamental cognitive ability, and perception, and how to be creative, and how to think of logical problems, and it's all fucked for me. And so when I'm trying to be creative, or when I'm trying to build code or anything like that, I think I make the wrong decision, and I know that to some extent. A part of this too is that I can't really confirm or deconfirm, like, if I'm making the most retarded decision in these mundane day-to-day activities. It's just like this thing that it's like, okay, well, regardless of what I'm doing specifically here, like, fundamentally, I don't have the right mind to be doing these broad activities. I don't have the right cognitive ability to be doing them, and fundamentally it's all going to fall apart eventually, and I'm not going to get anywhere. And I think that's true. That's been true every part of my life I've ever done. And it's just so fundamental. The mental problem I have is so fundamental. And it just feels like any activity I do is just painful, and it's just surrounded by this fucking dread. And I don't feel safe anywhere. I don't ever feel comfortable doing anything. I don't feel like I'm good at anything. I don't feel like I can comfortably live as a human doing human activities without it feeling contradictory and impossible. And I feel that on a daily basis every second of my fucking life with everything I do. And I don't know, recently I've just, like I said, I feel like all the emotions I used to have, they've just been kind of calming down, and I've just been settling in this kind of mundane reality. And I honestly don't even know if I'm happy or what's really happening. I know I still have this dread every day with the stuff I do. I know I'm still going through that cycle of being stressed out about my retardation, being stressed out about how I can't, do schoolwork correctly. I can't do this shit correctly, and that always exists. But I do get over it, and I think I have to if I'm gonna stay sane, right? I have to eventually be able to cope with that, because the truth is that's never gonna go away. I'm never going to have something where I can feel like I can just do it normally and actually be able to fundamentally be skilled in something, because it just doesn't exist. I don't have the cognitive ability to be able to basically do any of these normal human skills. So it's always there. I just have to cope with it. And that's the thing. A lot of people are depressed even though their lives are not that bad, and even though they have a lot of opportunity. I'm actually doing okay mentally. I'm actually coping okay, even though I think my logical situation is genuinely terrible and just absolutely dumb. I'm not saying that in a way where it's like, I'm super depressed. I'm saying I'm not. I'm saying that I'm just retarded, and so my life really is pointless. Despite that, I'm not that depressed. But I remember when I tried talking to this, I think to a therapist, my parents forced me to see something when I was 13. They thought it was depression. They thought it was just emotions, and that I was just delusional or something. Just anxiety, I guess, exaggerating some stuff, which I sometimes dream about the idea that everything I've ever felt about this is just a manifestation of my anxiety and I'm just delusional. But I think that what I have, the fundamental mental retardation I have, that is just as obvious to me as any other fundamental law of reality is. So if I exist, if anything exists, dude, if my whole existence isn't a lie, then I know that what I'm saying is true. I have a fundamental mental retardation, and all of everything I can accomplish is half-hearted and just broken. And that's obviously true. And so when they say it's just emotion, it's just depression, that really frustrated me, because I was like, this is not, it's the opposite. I actually feel okay. I'm actually not depressed, It's just my logical situation is so bad, and I want to know how to fix it. It's like if there was someone who was physically crippled, and you told him that it was just his depression, that was the reason for why he felt bad. Is that's stupid. Obviously, his situation is obviously bad for a human wanting to live in normal society and accomplish things, and so that would be the problem you might want to talk about. And that's what it feels like to me, even though it may not be physical. Mental problems can also be a thing, and it's not sadness, it's not anxiety, it's mental retardation. You can be physically deformed, you can be fucking mentally deformed, and that's how I'm like. And it really does feel like almost a physical barrier for me to be able to do things. But I guess the way it manifests is a lot more abstract and it's hard to explain. But I've talked about it, like every cognitive activity, when it can relate to trying to get a job and something technical or decision making or creative or whatever. I'm really terrible at those things, and I fundamentally can't figure them out or be versatile with them or make the right decisions and everything. So, and it's a very fundamental thing. It's with every part of the technical activity. I'm just retarded at. I can't figure it out. And so the situation I'm in is very real. It is almost like a physical restriction on my ability to participate in society, but it just manifests in this abstract way that people don't really see and they don't really know and they don't think exists. And so they told me, I just have anxiety and it's just depression, and they want to put me on like fucking medication. Just put me on some pills, and that pissed me off. Because it's like, well, clearly, you're not fucking listening to me. I have a very significant, real mental disorder. It's even, I guess some people don't think autism is as bad, but it is for me. And I'm just as sure about that as any fundamental fact of my reality. It's very obvious to me, right? I have a serious mental problem with my mental cognition that makes a lot of things impossible, or like just miserable and fundamentally worse in every way. And nobody recognizes that because it's not physically obvious, because I'm not good at expressing my emotions or my thoughts. I just exist in this mental prison. All this shit just stays inside me, and people just think I'm delusional. They just think I'm going through an emo phase or something, and I'm just emotional. Yeah, it's a long fucking emo phase. I've been saying this shit for 4 years. I've been failing at everything for 4 years. I'm not going to accomplish anything. It's not because I'm fucking lazy. And it's because of the way I was fucking born. It's because I was born with a real fucking mental deformity. Or whatever you'd fucking call it. I don't fucking know. Maybe I don't know what the fuck it is. All I know is that my reality is fucked. And that's just as significant as any physical barrier. I can't do a lot of fucking things that normal people can do. And it's pretty much everything that you would need to participate in society to do. So, people ignoring that. And, it's another thing, people just dismissing me as being lazy, as just being emo, as just being too lazy to do shit, too lazy to get a job. Like, oh, you're just too fucking lazy, You just want to stay around doing nothing. You know what, bitch? You think if I had the opportunity to get a job, if I had the fucking ability to do anything, if that was even a little bit fucking possible, you think I would want to throw that away? You think I would just take that for fucking granted at this point? If I had that ability, if it really was just down to me being lazy, that would be great. I really wish that was the fucking case, I really fucking wish that it was just because I was lazy. That idea to me is so fucking beautiful. That is something I would never take for fucking granted after what I have had to go through for my entirety of my life since I was fucking born. I would really fucking love that. Okay, you think if I had the opportunity to get a job and live a normal life after all this, I would do anything to fucking get that. And, the fact that they just dismiss this whole thing, this mental prison that has terrorized me and made my fucking daily life miserable, and has made everybody fucking hate me for things I don't intend for to have, even though I try my best to be a good person, to just fail at everything. Have everyone hate me for things I'm not intending to do. Just dismiss this whole thing as me being sad or as me being edgy. Yeah, that's not great. You know, and it really reinforces the idea that I live in a fucking mental nightmare, mental prison, this fucking nightmare where I can't express what this even is, and people don't believe it exists, and that I'm just fucking lazy, and that I've just thrown this out the window. It's like, bitch, I have tried so fucking hard every second of my fucking life to get anything. Okay, I've put a lot of effort into school, for example. You know, I've caught up on that. I've really tried to study that, and to say that I haven't tried, to say that I haven't cared to try, man, that really makes me feel pretty shitty, because I have tried. I've never taken that for granted. Not after every second of my fucking life I've had to live being dysfunctional in every way, despite how hard I try, not being able to do a fucking thing. I would never take that for fucking granted if I actually had the ability to live normally in society. But like everybody I've talked to has just said I'm fucking lazy and just said that I'm fucking sad, I'm going through a phase. And so all of this, every second of my fucking life, I've just had this dread and just this fucking stress and self-hatred over everything I do because it's so broken. You just think I'm fucking delusional. I'm just fucking lazy. Every second of my fucking life, I've tried, like, mentally and physically to achieve anything. That's just nothing to people, you know. They don't believe that even exists. I mean, I can't even express my emotion about it. I can't even express why this is frustrating to me. It's just my mind is going to blank again. I think it feels like I actually have a very serious mental problem with that. I cannot express thought. I can't express it without my mind shutting down. But like, when anyone tells me that after, you know, going through this cycle daily of stress, where I desperately try 10 times harder than anybody else to achieve the most simple fucking tasks, and I go through that stress and self-hatred every fucking day because I think, oh, I should be able to do this, and I can't, and I keep trying, and I keep failing, and then I keep fucking hating myself, and I keep trying over and over and over again at the same fucking things, putting 10 times more effort than anybody else, putting 10 times more mental stress in it, and having every second of every day be just painful and stressful because I just can't achieve anything I fucking try at, no matter how hard I try. To have all of that be dismissed as me just being lazy really, really fucking exemplifies what I'm saying when I say I feel like I live in a nightmare where no one understands anything I have. And of course, you know, that's like a trope or something, say that people don't understand you. But I mean, I really don't think that that there is any restriction here in what I'm able to do. That it's all just, I guess, delusion or something I've made up. Yeah, my mind's just going blank. I actually have my brain damage or something. I can't actually function very well. My mind just shuts off all the time. I cannot actually communicate thoughts very well. My mind is just black. I cannot think. I don't know why. It just happens all the time. Like, if I even had a slim opportunity to succeed in life, I would not fucking take that for granted. I would not be lazy with that. I would do everything to fucking achieve that. If there was even the slim possibility of me being able to live a fulfilling and normal life, I would fucking do everything to achieve that. That would literally change the experience I've had to gone through the past few years of my life, and what would be, the entirety of my life if I wasn't actually born in this mental prison. I would not fucking take that for granted like everyone else does. Okay? I've tried much harder than most people to achieve simple fucking tasks, to just talk to someone. But of course, I'm just lazy, because I'm not able to do it. It's just because I'm fucking lazy, and I'm not trying hard enough. Yeah, that attitude really fucking helps me. I guess I need to just hate myself more and keep trying to do the same fucking things that I can't fucking do. Just, as like a crippled person, keep trying to go up those stairs or just fucking run that marathon, because clearly it's my fucking fault, and I'm just taking everything I got handed to me for granted. I'm just fucking lazy. The reason that the crippled person isn't able to run the marathon is because he's lazy. They just need to try harder. They just need to hate themselves more because of how stupid and lazy they are for not being able to do that. Nobody recognizes that I am anything other than a lazy, dumb, and not dumb, because if they recognized I was retarded, that they would understand. But no, I'm just a lazy person who's thrown everything away because they're edgy and lazy. Nobody actually recognizes that there's a serious mental disorder here, that means I can't, even though I've tried 10 times harder to do social things, to do technical things, it doesn't matter. I fail at it every time. Nobody fucking recognizes that's even a thing. People just think I'm fucking delusional. Just to go through this cycle, like every day of my fucking life, just hating myself because I feel like I'm not doing this shit good enough, and I feel like I'm not trying hard enough at it or whatever, and like just continuing to do the same things I know I can't fucking do, and like putting 10 times more effort into it than anybody else, and putting 10 times more stress into it than anybody else, and just beating myself over it over and over and over again, and just have that all be dismissed as like laziness. That's what everyone's ever fucking did. They don't even recognize that I'm anything else than a selfish fucking asshole who's just thrown everything away because they're lazy. That's what people think I am. After everything I've fucking gone through, after every day I've had to beat myself over just not being able to do shit that I can't fundamentally fucking do. I'm not born the right way. I mean, it just validates that stress, that stress that I just need to keep hating myself and keep beating myself over the fact that I can't fucking do any of these fundamental activities that I've tried harder than anybody to fucking do. That's just, I'm not trying hard enough. I'm too lazy. It really just brings everything together. It makes the nightmare just feel perfect that I would have this fundamental mental disability that ruins my ability to be able to do anything. And every day I would have to go in denial about that and just try harder and harder and harder and harder, harder than anybody should ever have to fucking try to be able to communicate with someone. To be able to do that every fucking day of my life and have that stress and dread about it every day as I do it over and over and over again. And then have everyone think that I'm some selfish fucking lazy asshole who just hasn't even tried. And I need to just try harder. That really helps. That really really brings everything together and makes this fucking nightmare feel perfect. Because if I had something that would prevent me from being able to live a normal life, and then people wouldn't beat me up over it, wouldn't say, "Oh, you fucking retard." Well, no, they don't say that. If they said that, that'd be great. But they say, lazy asshole, fucking throwing away that everything you've been given. It's like, I wasn't given anything. I wasn't given a fucking thing. If I was given something, if I even had the slim possibility of being able to achieve something, after every fucking thing I've gone through, I would do anything to achieve that. And I have continued to try to do everything to achieve that, even though it's failed every time. And I continue to hate myself over it, and I continue to beat myself over it every day and go through that cycle every day. And I'm really happy that people are facilitating that. And that's just my fucking reality. I have to live in denial, just like everyone else is in denial about it. In my mind, I have fucking brain damage. My brain is just shutting off. I can't communicate. It really just feels like a nightmare, dude. I cannot express my thoughts or feelings. I can't express my situation. Everyone just thinks I'm a lazy asshole. After, how much I fucking try to do the most simple fucking things, and I've got nothing. Absolutely fucking nothing. Doesn't fucking matter.